Hey Cole, this is
Hey.
Charles Streeters with GoBlackNights.com. How are you doing this afternoon, evening?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You converted a very respectable 8 of 11 field goals last year, but you obviously saved the best for last, converting that 41-yard field goal to beat SEC team Missouri in last year's bowl game. Um, you know, Comparatively speaking, can you talk about working on both the mental and technical side of your craft? How do you manage that process? Give us an inside thought of how that works.
So Coach Saturnio has done a phenomenal job of integrating the mental strength game. Keyword like mental strength. But he's done a phenomenal job of integrating that into not just the kickers, but all the specialists, punters, snappers, holders too. It's just in this spring and specifically, we've started to do a lot of different exercises. We're reading books on mental health, like breathing, what we can do in order to control our body. The book that we're reading currently is actually it's about baseball, and it's about pitchers and things like that. There's obviously some differences, like in the book it'll talk about like maybe taking the step off the mound and everything like that. Obviously for football we can't do that, right? So like, but yeah, Coach Saturnio has done a great job of really kind of teaching me how to control my mental, really. And it's just been awesome because I've learned a lot about myself, and I think the rest of the specialists can agree with that. Also, we've learned a lot about ourselves, not only as football players but as men as well. And essentially, everybody's different, and so you always have to um, learn how to control your own personal self and really try to perfect your craft. And I like to think that I've evolved in massive ways compared to my freshman year, but I still got a long way to go in terms of the mental game. So
And that's kind of a segue into my next and final question. Talk about, in terms of perfecting your craft, what areas of your kicking game have you worked on this spring? And have you seen that an improvement in that specific or those specific areas of your game?
I have this spring. I came into it with a lot of confidence, which is good, obviously. And that confidence is something that I feel like as specialists we have to consistently try and keep in check, because we try to. I should have mentioned this earlier, but we also have like a light system that all the specialists try to keep track of during each and every one of our reps. It's red light, yellow light, green light. And if you're in a red light, then you got to do your best to try and at least get to that yellow light, or yellow light, green light. Or if you're in that green light, try and stay there. And it's a lot easier said than done. But I feel like I've done a really good job, me personally, this spring of keeping track of where my light's at. Obviously, like I said, I still got a lot to learn. But in the spring is a great time kicking wise to maybe try new things. Like for me, my body, like my build has gone through a lot of changes since I've been here. I mean, when I was 19 and I went to the prep school, I was 185, and then I went up to 215, and now I'm 205, and doing all that, and my legs getting bigger and stronger, or like cutting weight and things like that. Me personally, I feel as if that sometimes affects my swing. And so I'm constantly trying to maybe try and stabilize myself for my size. And but right now, I'm at a very comfortable weight that I feel comfortable at. I feel fast. I feel as if my leg speed is where I want it to be. Because essentially my belief is that, I'm sure there's kickers out there that are way smarter than me. But my belief is that I think your leg speed is one of the most important things that you have as a kicker. And so, yeah, I think right now I'm obviously adjusting day by day because not every day you're going to be in that green light like I talked about earlier. So, but yeah,
Wow. Hey, listen, I appreciate the insight and sounds like you're ready for the 2022 season. Thanks a lot, buddy.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Cole, Ken McMillan with the Times Herald Record.
How are you, Kim?
Good, thank you. Cole, let's go back to the traffic light. Are you talking about your mental state at that point or your anxiety level? Is that what the red, yellow, green is all about?
Yes, sir. 100%. And so, one thing that I like to think about is like, so if I hit a field goal and I like that swing, I like the rotation, I like the contact of the ball, then and obviously I made it. That's the most important thing, right? Then I would say I'm in a green light depending on how I feel. But if even and if you can keep that going as long as possible and keep yourself locked in mentally and try and maintain that level of where you're at, that can be really beneficial as a specialist, I think. And Coach Saturnio has done an amazing job of keeping that accountability of us and making sure that we lock in and really understand what light we're at. Because as the spring goes on, right, the goal is to improve, right? And how can we improve if we don't even know where we're at mentally? And so it's really important that
Well,
we
let me just stop you right there. So, I mean, you've been a kicker, so you've faced these situations all the way back to high school and all. So, what's different now? Is it just new age thinking, or just another type of thinking? And it's clarified what maybe you did know, but now you see it in a book form and it's more understandable.
Well, to be honest with you, like I said, like I think coming here, I think I've evolved not only as a player but as a man as well. And so I think I used to, like, way back in high school, I used to think like meditation and stuff was, to be honest with you, like a bunch of junk. I didn't really believe in any of that. And then Coach Saturnio, since I've gotten here, he's really done a great job of influencing us in the way that we view that. And so I've started to take it more seriously since he's taken over as special teams, and I've seriously noticed a trend in not only my kicking game but in life as well. I feel as if my mental strength has gotten a lot better, and I credit that not only to him but to the rest of the specialists as well, because we really do a great job of keeping each other accountable and supporting each other, or if someone needs it, critiquing each other. And I think that's why we're going to have a great season coming up.
Sure. You mentioned about leg speed. How different is leg speed versus leg strength?
Well, I think it is extremely dependent upon the kicker themselves, right? So everybody's different, or maybe the punter. I mean, I'm not a punter. Yeah, I'm not a very good punter at all, actually. But so for me, I think it's just kind of my personal belief. I think the faster your leg swing is whenever you make contact, I think essentially the farther that ball will go. I think you could have extremely strong legs, but if you're not having a fast swing whenever you make contact, then essentially it won't really help as much.
All right. So if you feel physically fit, and say you're on a run through practice, maybe earlier in a game, are you in a green light automatically, or do you really have to focus on green, yellow, red every time you go out there?
So whenever I think of the light system, it has a lot to do with my body, and my body personally, everybody's different, like I said, but my body personally, whenever I feel, you're never going to be extremely loose like you're at the spa or something, but for me, I feel this intense, like this immense like relaxation, and I take a big deep breath, and I can just it just kind of clicks for me whenever I know I'm in that green light, or whenever I know I need to get in that green light. And like today, for example, it was whenever we were taking reps, I was struggling staying in that green light. I think because I drank an energy drink right before practice, which I never do, and my body was kind of on edge, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so it's really, I really do appreciate the rest of the specs and how well we keep each other accountable in terms of the green lights and everything like that. So.
And this traffic light stuff all came up since last season.
Oh yeah, we've been working on it this past year. Coach Saturnio brought it into the meeting room, and as soon as he introduced it to us, I was like, "This is amazing." I've never even thought about it before, and whenever I really started taking the mental part of our game seriously, whenever he came along, I just really appreciated everything that he's brought on to us, because not only like I said before, not only do I feel like I've strengthened my mental self as a football player, I feel like as a man,
But let me just ask you then, last season, you had a good season. I think you said you were 8 for 11. So on the 3 misses, do you reflect back and said, I was not where I would like to be mentally, or were there other factors that might have led to the 3 misses?
Oh, 100%. I would say kicking and even, I'm not a punter or snapper, but I think I would be able to speak for them and say that 99% of our game is mental. And I think that's where Coach Turnio does a great job in incorporating that and making sure that we understand that. And we even do exercises to where we try to remember certain games, like even way back in high school, if it pertains to you. But we try to remember certain games where maybe we were in a yellow or red light, or certain games where maybe we were in a green light. And yeah, some of those kicks I do remember specifically, like I think about all the time, and I'm like, I was definitely in a red light then.
Okay. Let me just ask you then, let's go back to your most famous kick, the game winner against Missouri. Just take me back to that moment, because you saw Army drive down the field and you knew that the game was going to be on your toe. You know, what was that like? What was it like to hit that? And were you totally in the green zone?
That was obviously amazing. I don't really like to relish on it too much because it's not really helping us anymore, obviously, for this next season.
Yeah, but you can relive the moment as far as, I
Right,
mean, you had to be proud of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll never forget that. That was a great
Yeah.
moment. But I think looking back at it, I did feel as if I was in a green light. I think initially, because not a lot of people bring this up, but I missed one earlier in that game, and so I think after that miss, maybe initially I was in a yellow light, and so because I do feel as if I hit that first ball pretty well, but maybe I lifted my head up too fast, or whatever affected me to made me miss it. I actually do remember specifically I did lift my head up pretty fast, causing me to pull the ball to the left. But I think for sure I do remember being in a green light for that. We hadn't incorporated the traffic light system yet, but I can definitely attest that I wasn't a green light for that, because I took what Coach Saturnio did a really good job of teaching us these things that we can use in order to use what we had in our previous rep in order to fix our new one. And so, yeah, for sure, I think I was definitely in a green light for that. That was a fun time.
I know Derek wants to get you out of here, but just one more. Given your newfound knowledge of this, your new Zen, and your strength and your weight, are you looking forward to a really positive 2022 season?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm really excited for the season, not just because of what we can do special teams wise, but what we can do as a team as a whole. There's not any individuals on this team, and I think we do a really good job of keeping each other accountable and maintaining a standard of that's what we do. Is we're a team over everything else. And so but yeah, mentally I think I'm really excited to take some of the stuff that I've learned in the spring into next season. So
Thank you so much for your time.
yes, sir. Thank you.